Leanne, do you want to lead us in the pledge? Can you please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Jenny David.
Here.
Roger Mayhew.
Here.
Charles Wiltie.
Here.
Brenda Simmons. Here. Craig Scott.
Here.
Item 2, approval of the agenda. We need to add 4C. We have closed session meeting minutes for 10/19/2023. Those will require approval, and then we are going to eliminate 8B, resolution to approve clerk's office job description. That is not complete at this time. Is there any other additions or corrections?
I'm gonna pull 8G.
8G, we're gonna pull as well, resolution to establish and appoint members to the Special Budget Advisory Committee.
Right, because the resolution doesn't have all the names on it.
Okay, so that is not complete yet, neither. Any other additions or corrections?
You get that thing taped here.
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Make some.
I'll make.
A motion
Also,
to approve the agenda with the stated changes.
Correct.
Support from Commissioner Scott. Any further discussion?
Clarify.
Did you want that off of the agenda?
Can I amend it to add 2 more names to that?
You can amend it, but we just took it off. Is that not what you wanted? We just
No,
removed
I
it.
want to amend it, because I want to add those 2 names. Don't take it off. Too late, huh?
No, it's not.
No.
We can change that again.
We're good.
We were still under discussion.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Yeah.
I'll amend my motion.
Okay,
And a second it amended too.
okay, so we are going to, at this point in time, we're gonna add 4C closed session minutes for 10/19, and we are going to eliminate 8B. We are going to keep 8G.
Yep.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 3, declaration of conflicts of interest. Are there any commissioners?
I have none.
I have none.
Item 4A, review of minutes, October 12th, 2023, regular meeting minutes.
I've read them, and I'll make a motion to accept them.
Motion from Commissioner Scott,
I'll second.
support from Commissioner Wiltie. Any further discussion? All in favor, say yes.
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 Opposed, motion carries. Item 4B, October 19th, 2023, committee of the whole meeting.
I've read them and I'll make a motion that we accept.
Support.
Make the committee whole meeting.
Motion from Commissioner Wiltie, support from Commissioner Scott. Any further discussion?
Yes, I have some discussion on that first.
This is from October 19th.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
On the appointments for the first one, Brett Gillen is requesting premium Ogemaw County vital records. And it also talks about military records. Now, I do have my military records here, but my military records have my social security number on them.
Your DD 214.
Yeah,
It's not a public record. Only the person that is.
Yeah.
The DD 214 can obtain a DD 214.
Yeah,
say that one more time, please.
It's not
only
a
you
public
can
record.
get it. It'd be the same as a birth record. Only the people that are on the birth record can get it. So it's a protected document.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure
Yeah.
that I don't want that up there.
Yeah, no, that's,
Okay,
the protected documents they're still protected. They still go through the safeguards.
so people can't get that just by going online and getting it and say they'll be. Trust me.
You have to show that you are you, 100%.
Okay,
Any further discussion?
that's all I needed to know.
All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4C, closed session minutes from 10/19/2023.
Do we have those?
I reviewed those. Those were in front of us when we got here. Would you like a second to review those, Commissioner?
Please.
Did you see the ones in front of you? Yep. Did you have something you wanted to?
This right here, a second.
No. That's accurate.
I know it's accurate.
And they said she, yeah, just talk to you after the meeting.
Okay, okay. Yeah, we're good. I'm good.
You're gonna motion to approve the minutes?
Second,
I made the motion.
You made the motion?
I did.
That was clear, yeah.
I made the motion to support the October 19th, 2023 closed session meeting minutes. Commissioner Simmons supported. Any further discussion? All in favor, say yes.
yes.
I opposed. Item 5, public comment and agenda items only. Is there any public comment in the room on agenda items only? Any public comment on the phone? Item 6, correspondence. We received correspondence from Sheboygan County related to the opposition to preemption of local control. Department of Natural Resources related to state forest road inventory notice of proposed changes. Isabella County related to opposition to preemption of local control. Lenawee County, opposition to preemption of local control. Livingston County Health Advisory Committee. Macomb County, opposition to preempt to local control. Osceola County, opposition to state septic code, and Ottawa County for related to vaccine choice. Those have been received and filed. Item 7, public hearing. The purpose of this public hearing is to provide an opportunity for citizens to provide input associated with income earned by the housing program. Housing Program Director Leanne Fisher will be present to present a report on program income. Fiscal year 2021 program income totaled $85,840.09 and was used to offset costs for emergency repairs on 7 projects. The chairperson will open the floor for public comment related to CDBG program income. Established rules for public comment will apply. And open the floor,
I'll make a motion that we open a public hearing for building, housing.
we have a motion for the public hearing from Commissioner Scott,
Second,
support from Commissioner Simmons. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Leanne, would you like to come on up?
You should have a copy of the public hearing for the new program income for the 2022. The same rule applies as far as the federal funds and people making payments and stuff like that. So we have to account for those money in order to be able to use them. And that was the purpose of the public hearing. On the overview on the second page, for the program year of 2022, we have generated $97,518.82. That will be used for emergency repairs only, for like roof furnaces, septic wells, and hot water heaters. And if there's any other type of emergency repairs that like electrical or something like that, we have to get prior approval before we can use it for that purpose. This money was generated from payments that we have collected. We have a total as of last month. The first loan, that means that the payments are deferred unless they decide to finance, or if they decide to pay the loan off or whatever. They can do whatever they want as long as the money comes back into the program. We have 107 of those loans outstanding at a total of $1,458,921. A lot of money out there. Local loans are a little bit low. We only got 40 right now making payments. And we have a total of $384,724.26. All total, we have 147 loans outstanding in the program. for a total of $1,843,645.90. So we'll continue to keep monitoring those, and every year we have to report that to MEDC, but that's shift now, so now it's gonna go to MSHA. We're waiting for their guidelines. Right? So everything else is the same as it's always been all these years for emergency repairs. Guideline is the same, it's not changed as far as the ownership on the house. They have to own it at least 1 year. Tax and insurance have to be current. We have to have the total gross household income in each one of the families that's living in the house. In order for them to be eligible, we have to have 2 estimates in order to be able to do the project. So we have comparative bids. Citizen participation has always been in place. It has been since January 4th of 2017. And the fair housing has been in place since I've been a director in the program. So I will continue to be your fair housing advocate for the program. And that's pretty much it.
Nice, thank you.
You're welcome.
You do amazing work.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great.
We need to open the floor for public comment. Is there any public comment?
For the house. Just for the house.
Is there any public comment?
I'll make a
Any public-
motion to close the public hearing.
Any public comment on the phone?
Oh, sorry.
We have a motion from Commissioner Scott to close the public hearing.
A second.
Support from Commissioner Simmons. Any further discussion? Roll call vote?
Jenny David.
Yes.
Roger Mayhew.
Yes.
Charles Wiltie.
Yes.
Brenda Simmons.
Yes.
Craig Scott.
Yes.
Like, we don't need to do anything further with that, correct?
Right.
Okay. Item 8, action on consent agenda. As far as combining these, how do you guys feel?
Take them one by one.
Item 8A, resolution to approve a user license agreement for online vital records request application. This resolution is sponsored by Clerk Brett Gutner. The county's clerk's actions as the county's register of vital records include birth, death, marriage, divorce, and military veterans discharge records. Public access to and duplication of vital records is currently limited to verbal requests made in person, by telephone, or through other means. The county clerk has researched automated options for retrieval and duplication of vital records to improve efficiency. Approval of the resolution will authorize a user license agreement with Permutium LLC for an online vital record application. Someone entertain.
I'll make a motion that we approve user license agreement for the online vital records request application.
We have a motion from Commissioner Wiltie, support from Commissioner Simmons. Any further discussion? I think this was talked about quite thoroughly at the committee of the whole. All in favor, say yes.
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 Opposed? Do we need a roll call on the vote on this?
Your decision.
It's not.
It's a contract.
Yeah.
Correct, okay. Item 8, that's right. Item 8B, resolution to approve clerk's, that's been removed. Item 8C, resolution to amend the fiscal year 2024 fee schedule. This resolution is sponsored by Sheriff Brian Gilbert and Planning and Zoning Administrator Ryan Veeder. On June 8th, 2023, the Ogemaw County Board of Commissioners approved resolution 23-86 to authorize necessary charges incident to or arising from the execution of the board's lawful authority. The sheriff and planning and zoning administrator seek to amend the fee schedule to offset costs associated with various functions. Approval of the resolution will adopt the proposed fee schedule revisions, which will have immediate effect.
Motion.
Motion from Commissioner Simmons,
I'll second.
support from Commissioner Wiltie. Any further discussion?
I have a point.
Go ahead. Commissioner Scott?
Yeah, it's, there's one here, I think. I've been told that it's statutory.
That was removed from the list.
Oh, it was?
Oh, yeah, so actually, I I stand corrected. It is right at the very top, but you can see that 26 is unchanged.
Okay, it went to 30 when it was shown to us.
Which one are you talking about?
The very first one, under summons, the base fee, and instead of the MCL number, the statute says we can charge $26, and that's final.
When presented to us, it went up to 30.
Okay,
We can't
Yep.
change, we can't change it,
okay. Anything else, Commissioner Scott?
no.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Charles Wiltie,
Yes.
Brenda Simmons,
Yes.
Craig Scott,
No.
Jenny David,
Yes.
Roger Mayhew.
Yes.
Item AE, resolution to waive database download fees. This resolution is sponsored by Equalization Director Randy Booth. On June 8th, 2023, the Ogemaw County Board of Commissioners approved Resolution 23-86 to authorize necessary charges incident to arising from the execution of the board's lawful authority. Fees for GIS mapping and real property data downloads were included in the approval fee schedule at a cost of $1,500 for each data set. The Ogemaw County 4-H Council has historically used county-generated databases to create and sell county plat books as a fundraiser project. The proposed resolution would allow the 4-H Council to receive the requested data at no charge, but on the condition that 3 plat books and wall maps will be provided to the Equalization Department. 3? That was a magic number? Perfect. I'll make this motion.
Second.
We have a motion with support. Any further discussion?
No, you already handled it.
We'll do a roll call vote on this one as well.
Brenda Simmons,
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Jenny David,
Yes.
Roger Mayhew,
Yes.
Charles Wiltie.
Yes.
Item 8F, resolution to accept U.S. Department of Agriculture Rural Business Cooperative Service Grant. This resolution is sponsored by Economic Development Corporation Director Penny, is it Paya? I believe so, yes. On July 29th, 2023, the Ogemaw County Economic Development Corporation received notification from the U.S. Department of Agricultural Rural Business Cooperative Service of a grant award tallying $95,000 for a revolving rural business loan fund. Grant rules require that Ogemaw County act as a fiduciary for grant funds. Approval of the resolution will document acceptance of U.S. Department of Agricultural Community Rural Business Cooperative Service grant funds with the understanding that the Economic Development Corporation will be responsible for administration of the grant and for providing the required $3,000 in matching funds.
I'll make a motion that we accept the U.S. Department of Agricultural Rural Business Cooperative Service Grant.
We have a motion with Commissioner Wiltie,
Second.
support from Commissioner Scott. Any further discussion?
I'd just like to make a note that this is zero cost to the county. And all this is a great benefit to the EDC to raise revolving monies through the future.
They've asked us for a small amount coming back that after we took away the 35,000. They've been able to go out and get a $95,000 grant. I wouldn't think it'd be too bad to give them the 3,000 to match that.
I guess I'm
Not
confused.
every department can come up with a $95,000 grant. And we pulled every bit of support away from them.
If I'm not mistaken, they've had this grant, and please correct me if I'm wrong. I believe they had this grant last year as well, but they couldn't, they were unable to find anybody as far as loan. This isn't the first time they've received this. Am I incorrect on that?
Well, I believe it's the first time they've received it, but this is the first
Loan,
actual business loan.
Yes.
Now, because you have to have a business plan, you have to have a lot
Yep.
of stuff in order, and they haven't found any really good fits for their first.
they had one previously when I was on the board, but it fell through. There is quite a bit of work involved with this, but this has been something that they have been seeking now for a couple years, which is good.
And there is a timeline on this too.
Mhm. So I guess Commissioner Scott, I am not sure.
Just discussion. That's what you asked about.
Yeah, I guess I was
Not
confused.
part of the motion, just discussion.
Any further discussion?
I made it very clear, just because of our financial woes at the county, we as a county, we still need to support local business, support new business. That creates a larger tax base, that creates more money coming into the county. I would love just to see the EDC as a line item. I think it's well worth it. I understand the cuts that we did have to make, but I think they definitely deserve to be in our budget.
I'm definitely not comfortable doing that at this point in time. I agree they need to be talked about. I agree they need recognition. I don't disagree with anything you just said, but with 8 layoffs just taking place this week, I'm definitely not comfortable dedicating any other funds at this time. I think, again, we need to continue to look at this. I don't disagree with what was just said, but with us having to lay off our own, that's not at this point in time. I don't feel we're in a place to do that. Commissioner Simmons?
Yes, no, we are not in place to do that, and we did lay off 18 people. Because we had part-times also included in that. But I agree, I cannot see us putting some of that on, and even a line item or in our budget, because we just laid off 18 people.
Wait a minute, 18, are you including on-calls?
No, I'm including part-time.
Tim, do you want
We
to add?
have 18.
Tim, do you want to add to that?
What?
Full-time.
Hold on,
part-time.
guys. Tim,
Commissioner Simmons is referring to, we had the 8 full-time from the budget, but we had the balance for part-time and seasonal, and the sequencing according to our collective bargaining agreements is that they all need to receive that notice as well. Now, and the day the layoffs take effect, there is a callback order. So a number of those same individuals will be called back for on-call and so on. But it's done in a specific order as is laid out in the contract.
Yeah.
But we did have to send them the official notice as well as everyone else, just to have everything on record.
Sure.
you sent us that list in the highlights and it was very clear.
Thanks. Yeah.
Any other comment?
We don't have the 3,000.
Any further
Just conversation.
just any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Jenny David,
Yes.
Roger Mayhew,
Yes.
Charles Wiltie.
Yes.
Brenda Simmons.
Yes,
Item 8, oops,
Can
go
I call
ahead.
your attention back, please, to item 8D?
Did I? Yep. Yes.
Make sure we don't miss that.
Oh, I did skip right over that, didn't I? A resolution to authorize Homeland Security Grant Program expenditures. This resolution is sponsored by Emergency Management Coordinator Mike Bowers. The Homeland Security Grant Program includes a suite of risk-based grants to assist state, local, and tribal and territorial efforts in preventing, protecting against, mitigating, responding to, and jointly sponsored an incident command course in the Emergency Operations Center with a 10-student participants, of which 6 students are firefighters. Approval of the resolution will allocate up to $800. Approval of the resolution will allocate up to $800 to offset costs related to the course. I apologize.
I'd like to make a motion that we authorize the Homeland Security Grant Program expenditures.
We have a motion from Commissioner Wiltie,
Support.
support from Commissioner Scott. Any further discussion? I think Mr. Bowers provided information on this.
Yeah, no cost though.
Correct. Didn't this take place? Is that this upcoming weekend or was it last weekend? He gave us a date on that.
It was last weekend.
Last.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Any further discussion? Roll call vote?
Jenny David.
Yes.
Roger Mayhew,
Yes.
Charles Wiltie,
Yes.
Brenda Simmons,
yes,
Craig Scott.
Yes.
Item 8G, resolution to establish and appoint members to the Special Budget Advisory Committee. This resolution is sponsored by the Committee of the Whole. The Uniform Budgeting and Account Act requires that local units of government maintain a balanced budget and periodically adjust the budget to reflect revised revenue and expenditure levels. Budget monitoring helps to identify any deviations, risk, or opportunities that may affect the performance or sustainability of an organization. The Board of Commissioners finds it appropriate to create a budget advisory committee consistent with rules established in section 8.4 of the Board of Commissioners Rules of Procedure to help ensure organization-wide awareness of budget revenue and expenditure trends. Approval of the resolution will establish an 8-member special budget advisory committee to review and recommend budget strategies based on budget trends and best practices. The Board of Commissioners reserves for itself all decision-making authority for matters concerning budget policy.
Any discussion?
Gotta make a motion first.
Oh,
Motion,
motion.
motion from Commissioner Simmons,
A second.
support from Commissioner Mayhew. Go ahead, Commissioner Simmons.
I'd like to change it to 10 members, because I think there's 2 significant people that need to be on there, and that's Mike LaFave from Friend of the Court, and Probate Court. Because they have a lot of expenditures, and when we do claims, they have a big bundle in there. And I think Tom Spencer, because he can see the forecast, what our expenditures might be in the future for updating the IT that we have now. Because he always lets us know, but what these expenditures are gonna be, so I think it's important that we can see that ahead of time. Rather than, maybe a month ahead of time or 6 weeks ahead of time. I just think it's important, so we know what our future ITs may be costing us. That's why I'd like to have those 2 people on there, Mike LaFave and Tom Spencer.
Have you had an opportunity to discuss this with them?
Yes, I have,
And are they agreeable?
yes. I've discussed it with everybody that's on that list,
Thoughts?
including those 2.
I don't have a problem with that. Thoughts, commissioners?
I'm fine with it.
Commissioner Scott?
I saw a agenda for a meeting already set up. We haven't even voted for it.
Well, I knew you would.
Oh. I see
I
that
can
there's
count on-
already a command structure in that already.
I can count on you.
I sit on a couple of different boards. We allow the members to pick our leaders.
Any further discussion?
Not doing any good.
Are these meetings gonna be available by Zoom?
Probably not, but if they want to be, they can be.
Well, if you got the IT guy on the board, I'd talk to him.
What's your thoughts on that?
It's a public meeting, so it's
Public
fine
meeting.
if they are.
I think they should be.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea.
That way the public has access to them.
Fine,
And with this amount of board members, I think it. That way, if there's a question. Someone can ask.
fine.
I think I can watch it on Zoom, right?
Yeah,
As long as I don't participate.
it's the intent is that you would be able to do that.
Well, I have to talk to Tom and see if that can happen tomorrow morning in the conference room over there, conference room A,
When's your first meeting?
tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock.
Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's
Yeah,
all right.
because we're gonna vote on it.
Ready.
You're right on this.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Well, you almost took it off the agenda.
On accident.
Okay.
There was just some
Well,
confusion.
it's by accident gonna have a meeting tomorrow.
Read it. The additions.
Yep. Any further?
Chris, yeah, we need to have a motion to amend to add these 2 individuals to this committee.
So right now there's a motion on the table. Do we need to, so how do we amend this motion?
Well, she made the motion, just amend the motion.
Tim, I was asking you, how do we go forward with this?
Somebody would make a motion to amend the resolution to add these 2 names, and then you would vote on the final resolution with all 10 names.
Okay, it cannot be me or Commissioner Simmons that did the original motion, correct?
I don't think it matters at this stage because the motion is still live. It's not been defeated. It hasn't had any other action on it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Commissioner Simmons, you're right. Commissioner Mayo.
Yes. So
Okay.
the first, that motion's not being voted on?
There was a motion that was just made to amend the resolution to add these 2 names. So that would be the primary motion on the table that would have to be dealt with first. And then you go back to that other motion to adopt the resolution, which is now amended.
I'm totally confused. I'm gonna make the motion to amend with the 2 added names. Tom Smetzer and
Mike LaFave,
Mike LaFave. I was getting there, Commissioner Simmons.
you look like you were pondering.
Well, hurry up,
It's
you got
not-
an 18-hour window to get it posted.
It's already posted.
Oh,
Are you supporting that amendment? Okay. So we have a motion that to amend the original motion. We are adding Tom Spencer and Mike LaFave to this resolution to establish and appoint members to the Special Budget Advisory Committee. All in favor, say yes.
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 Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. We're good with that, right? Okay. Item 8H, resolution, oops, go ahead.
Now the motion to adopt the resolution with the amended names.
Oh, my goodness.
The same motion, there's already been
Now there's been an amendment.
Commissioner Simmons made the motion,
Commissioner
Commissioner
Mayhew.
Mayhew seconded it. So we're voting on that original motion.
Which is now amended.
The new amended motion. Roll call vote.
Roger Mayhew,
Yes.
Charles Wiltie,
Yes.
Brenda Simmons,
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Jenny David.
Yes. So 9 o'clock tomorrow by Zoom, you're gonna,
It depends if I can get a hold of time, make that happen. If he
Slide the
gets it,
table out into the main room and.
item
I can
8H.
figure it out.
Item 8H, resolution to authorize a request for jail staffing analysis. This resolution is sponsored by Administrator / Controller Timothy Delahoney. Administrative rules for jails and lockups published by the Michigan Department of Corrections requires that a sufficient number of personnel shall be provided to perform ancillary functions, whether scheduled or unscheduled, such as moving inmates to medical, visitation, recreation, or other inmate programs. Inmate population and correctional facility staff numbers have changed since the last staffing analysis was completed. Approval of the resolution would authorize the Board of Chairperson to co-sign a request for staffing analysis with the sheriff.
I'll make the motion to adopt the resolution.
We have a motion from Commissioner Scott,
Second.
support from Commissioner Wiltie. Discussion? I'm not really sure how I feel about this. I'm just worried that this may, I guess, get us into trouble. I have some mixed feelings on this. Do you have anything to add to this, Under Sheriff?
Tom's here too.
I see him. I was asking the Under Sheriff first. Mr. Howard, do you have anything to add to this?
The only thing I can add is 3 years ago, we did it. We were working 2 short, so we hired 2. Numbers are down some, but we were working 2 short 3 years ago, and now we're 5 short. We are, I don't know.
What's the turnaround? How long is this? I remember it was briefly talked about, but I don't recall. What's the turnaround on this?
The last one was, they were actually here on site in 2019. The report wasn't issued until 2021. They did have some COVID issues in between there, but in talking with the guy that actually does the analysis, there were at least 2 counties ahead of us. So we would be looking at the earliest for them to be on site at some point after the first of the year. And then they put together their analysis, which I couldn't even venture a guess on how long that would take.
I guess my concern is like from and I know this was talked about at committee of the whole, it's just from a liability standpoint, if we're not in compliance, you know, what our plan is gonna be moving forward, that obviously this could, and my concern is their liability here, I guess.
Well, how do you know if you're in compliance or not?
Correct.
You just wanna say you are, or you wanna say you're not, or just.
Well, that's kind of what we're doing. We have no idea. We made cuts,
If we have these people come in, they'll tell us.
but in the meantime, if the turnaround here is in a year's time and an incident occurs between now and then, and we're not in compliance, how big a liability is that to the county? Doing a staffing analysis is not mandatory, correct?
Well, if we don't ask for it, they will come. And if they count heads and they don't see enough heads, then we'll end up being cited as being out of compliance. But recall that we also talked about a reduction in the number of inmates that we would house in there, which is substantially less than what was calculated for the 2019 study. So, you know, that's the idea. Things have changed significantly enough to where it should impact that formula and hopefully find that we're in compliance. Now, again, this is a recommended level. This is not a mandate by the state in terms of how many, but it is their recommended.
I have a question.
Commissioner Simmons?
Yeah, we do have something like that, and we do reduce the rates. And there seems to be some issue with the structure of the building itself and how it's laid out. Maybe the state can give us something to make that structure different, so we can make it less. So, because we're not taking as many prisoners in at all now, that's the problem. So. And if it is higher than what it is now, then. If it's not a mandate, then
It's gonna be a lot more discussion after we get this analysis back. Commissioner Wiltie?
I don't know if you can answer this, Tim, or close. In 2019, when we had this study done, you know what our average number of inmates was at that time?
Yeah, they reported 94.
Right here.
And I read that last night, it's at 74 now, is that what?
Last audit, it was at 72.
Okay,
Obviously, there's, that audit's like a year old now too for the data they had, so they may have fluctuated somewhat since then.
Can I ask Tom a question?
go ahead.
How many inmates do we have in the jail today?
I did not look at the.
Any other questions?
Nope.
So we're approximately down on average a year from the when it happened, 94 to 72, we're down approximately 20 inmates on average.
Right.
And we were too short then, according to their state and their analysis.
No, it has been stated in the last couple of months that it's not 144, it's actually 115. The administrator told us
That's
that,
the operating maximum capacity to keep the jail function at normal level.
115.
You want to run at 80%. When you
Okay,
go over that, then you have breakdown.
okay. I wonder. Okay, well, that is reported in 2021, that's not today.
The 94,
Yeah.
correct? Is that what you're looking? The
Reported
capacity.
Dated April 29th, 2021, so.
Any other comments, Commissioner Simmons?
so they're talking about the 80% efficiency. If we're down to about 72 now, 80% of that was it 115 or whatever? It's only 92, so still down 20 from that.
Correct.
So I think they would come back with lesser numbers. I don't know why they would not.
Under Sheriff?
This report discussion. The number itself is not the magical thing. The total recommendation is based off of physical plant, safety of officers, safety of inmates, job functions. Now, they have mathematical formulations that are in the report that they use to come up with that recommendation. In 2019, the board asked for a study to be done. They came back with that. 92 was one of the factors that they came up with their recommendation that this is what it be staffed at for safe operating. It's not mandated by law, but it's a recommendation that currently hangs over our head right now. The safe operating recommendation from MDOC is this number of officers. That's out there. We're now below that with layoffs. What does MDOC does during our conversation with Tim and those, they'll mark us non-compliant. Whole process that goes with that, they'll try to give us ways of fixing that to bring it so we can become compliant. In the meantime, you have the study done. Maybe they come back, maybe they substantiate the 2019. I don't know how you get away from it because that's what we're currently faced with. 2019 says we have this number of employees in the jail with 92 inmates. It's the physical plant also that plays a factor in the safety of the housing particularly. Because now you're pulling people from command or running across the street from the jail for backup if something goes on in housing. If you read part of the report, it says housing has to have that backup, that second, to be able to maneuver so everything is covered within it. All I'm saying is that's my take on the 2019 report that we're currently operating and now not in compliance. If we're found not in compliance, there'll be a plan. State will give us a report that says you're not in compliance. In the meantime, it'll be March to next fall before we get this report. It could say that the numbers are enough to substantiate. Changing the physical plant, in my opinion, is gonna be difficult because it's a pod system. It's not a wing system. We're not shutting a wing system down. We have a pod, a housing pod. And the last thing, if they come in and say it's less, then we're good. That 2019 goes away, you go with the current one and move forward. I'm not confident we're gonna see that big of a swing because of the physical plant. That's just my 2 cents on it.
Is there any cost to the county to have this staffing analysis? This, since we just recently had one?
$600, not Tim?
I haven't,
I have no lunch.
had any conversation about calls. The $600 was a different fee we were talking about with MERS.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not aware of any fee for this.
Might not be, it might be just a scheduling. I probably got confused with which fee was which, but I thought it was 600, I'm not sure. I guess we'd have to look and get back for sure that there's not a fee. Tom, do you remember?
I don't believe there's a fee.
It's just the
Our
scheduling.
conversation. Tim's office, but that was a couple months ago, so, but I don't believe there's a fee.
600, I must be thinking about the MERS thing, I'm sorry. That's the wrong study.
I guess then I'm gonna straight up ask you, I don't know if you gave me an answer at committee, the whole, how do you feel about it? About staffing analysis?
I don't know how you don't do it at this point, 'cause from a liability standpoint, you have a current one that's gonna put us not in compliance. Moving forward, we're not in compliance with a recommendation. Again, it's not mandated, but it's a recommendation from MDOC, which governs how we take care of inmates in the jail. And we're not in compliance. So either there's enough change that says you are still in compliance with the changed circumstances, or no, the situation still is there with your current facility. This is our recommendation and you're not in compliance.
I guess we need to just also make sure moving forward, if this is what we're looking at and compliance and cutting down on the amount of inmates, we need to make sure that we take that entire scenario into consideration as far as what the inmates do bring in, the account there with, I can't think right now with all the cigarettes and all that other. There you go. I knew I wasn't gonna be able to pronounce that word, so I just, go ahead, Tim.
County attorney is on and he's happy to weigh in on the topic if you'd like.
Matt, oh, hi, I see your picture now. How are ya? Oh, I can't hear you. Tom has you muted. Still muted, Matt. Oh, there you go.
Okay, there we go. So I just wanted to let you know that I have reviewed this issue as well. I do think it would benefit the county in this instance, based on change in circumstances, to get an updated analysis. Even though this may not be controlling, I support the undersheriff's position that having one that is outdated does not benefit us. So it is very likely, based on the current operations, that you will get a revised in a lower direction staffing recommendation. And it's just that, it's a recommendation, but I think you would like to have that.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Under Sheriff.
You're welcome.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Brenda Simmons,
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Jenny David.
Yes.
Roger Mayhew,
Yes.
Charles Wiltie.
Yes.
Good.
I'm gonna sneeze. Item 8I, resolution to appoint a member to the Special Opioid Settlement Advisory Committee. This resolution is sponsored by the Administrator/Controller Timothy Delahoney. On June 22nd, 2023, the Board of Commissioners approved Resolution 23-92 to establish and appoint members to the Special Opioid Settlement Advisory Committee. Appointment member Brett Gildney determined she is unable to serve on the advisory committee. Approval of the resolution will appoint Ogemaw County EMS Director Justin Rogers to the Special Opioid Settlement Advisory Committee for a term to expire on December 31st, 2024.
I'll make a motion to appoint member of the Special Opioid Settlement Advisory Committee.
Motion for Commissioner Wiltie. I'll support that. Any further discussion? I think we talked about this, the committee of the whole. He definitely brings a lot of experience and expertise to the board.
Yes.
All in favor, say yes.
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 Opposed, motion carries. Item 8J, resolution to appoint a member to the Department of Health and Human Services Board. This resolution is sponsored by Administrator / Controller Timothy Delahoney. Section 46 of the Social Welfare Act establish a county social services board of 3 members appointed from persons residing within the county and not holding an elective office. 2 members of the Social Services Board must be appointed by the Board of Commissioners for 3-year terms. The term of DHHS Board Member Jane L. Stetter will expire on October 31st, 2023, and Ms. Hartz has confirmed her desire for reappointment. Approval of the resolution will allow Ms. Allister to continue service on the DHS Board for a 3-year term to expire on October 31st, 2026.
I support. Motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion motion with support. Any further discussion? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 9A, claims. Claims for a total of $176,058.52. Let me verify that is correct. Yes. Commissioner Scott, did you review claims?
No, I asked Charlie too. I was out of town.
Commissioner Wiltie, did you have anything? I reviewed them as well, but I'll let you go ahead.
I reviewed the claims. I had a few questions. I got them answered. That's all.
Yeah, just some things that were, I called and spoke with Tracy today. The accident fund was $88,362. That was, I asked her about we talked about the claims for the law library too, to the subscription, $794. What else did we talk about? The legal fees. I asked her for a breakdown if she can provide when she's able of the legal fees. The legal fees for this past month was $5,238.40. Just to see like the retainer fee versus the hourly cost, like how is that broken down? I just want a little more information. So there's more to come on that. And then also, I seen that there was body worn cameras, $9,768. Was that, Paul, do you know what that was exactly?
That was the original bill that got missed. I received 2 bills, one for the GPS and one for the body cameras. I thought they were one and the same when the statement came. So as I'd seen it float over a couple more months, I realized that they were 2 different animals. So I did my research and submitted it. That's the first go around on the body cameras.
I thought we were paying for those out of ARPA, and then this didn't come out of ARPA funds.
No, I went back and reviewed the YouTube video, and it makes no mention of taking it out of ARPA, that there wasn't enough money in village fund to support this project.
There was or wasn't
It
enough money?
was.
Okay. I, for
Yes.
some reason, thought that the body cams were coming out of ARPA.
I candidly thought the same thing, but like Paul went back and could not find any mention of ARPA either on YouTube or in our resolution.
Because that was Brad really, GPS,
GPS was ARPA.
GPS was ARPA, but the body camera was a separate discussion that was had during the course of 2 meetings. From what I saw, there was no mention of ARPA. It was all moved forward, so I'm not fine where we were putting in ARPA money, so it came out of the village.
We can make a change.
so is that this $9,768 is, we're gonna see more of this? Is this a final bill? I guess you just kind
That's
of,
the initial bill. If I remember the plan, it was that price once a year for 5 years is what the contract. If I remember correctly.
so this is just to maintain them? This isn't for the
No,
actual,
this
we
is
have,
Maintaining, this is for the services that go along with it, the download, the cloud, the action. All that comes along with the total package.
okay.
Question,
Commissioner Scott,
since this is an old bill, will this be applied to the last budget year? You will. We can make an amendment, or a separate motion and pay for this with ARPA.
if there's money in the, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, if you'd like, I mean, I don't know what we have left over in last year's budget in road patrol. Is there a fund balance left there?
Can't answer that. on the spot. I'll have to go back and look at or pull up the BSNA and look.
Paul, there was obviously money in the millage to support this.
From the report that I ran, it showed a surplus at the time that I ran the report here last week of 61,000. I believe I put that in an email. That's gonna fluctuate as the final bills come in. Payroll gets moved over, but I did see 61,000 that was being carried over at the time the report was run last week. I would defer to Tim in the ballpark. Again, that's just the budget report. He can't really say one way or another without looking at it, but I did run a report. It showed at the time, in my humble opinion, that there will be some surplus. I believe plenty to cover the 9,000.
I'm okay with that as long as there's money there. I mean, I don't. Any further discussion?
Brenda's got.
Commissioner Simmons,
Yeah.
sorry.
And it's always got discussion. I'm good with road patrol paying for this right now. Because it is a road patrol piece of equipment.
I agree as long as the funding's there. When I seen this, I called Tracy and said, I thought this was,
So I'd say road patrol millage.
Yeah,
Okay.
your initial talks, we talked to ARPA. I mean, like you said, Brad was adamant about it.
it was GPS and the body cams. He was extremely adamant. He was very
But
passionate about
it's
that.
the maintenance end of it, so it doesn't matter, I guess.
The body cams themselves, did that come out of ARPA?
No, that's all part of the package.
Okay,
That's all part of the package of the 5-year deal that you set up for that, because it's the cameras, it's the replacement of cameras a couple of years, if they break, the updates and any type of software. It's the cloud storage that these downloads are going to, it's the redaction that I use to redact any type of release of videos. The function that allows it to be shared with prosecuting attorneys and other courts. That's all part of the bundle that this is paying for.
okay. I'm gonna make a motion to pay our bills. Did we already do it?
No,
Oh, I did
no,
discussion
you had
first.
discussion.
I'm sorry. It's a bad night for me.
Doing it.
I know, you're 100% wrong, Commissioner Scott. I erred.
Yeah, okay.
Is there any support?
I'll support.
Support from Commissioner Wiltie. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Roger Mayhew,
Yes.
Charles Wiltie,
Yes.
Brenda Simmons.
Yep.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Jenny David.
Yes, item 9B, new to business. Any commissioners? New business, any new business? Commissioner Simmons?
This is unfinished business.
Right now, we're on new business. Is there any?
Sorry, I thought I was already on 10. I'm moving right along.
Any, item 10, unfinished business.
Yeah, I have a couple of comments here. Things that I do not understand and don't make any sense to me. We had a hard thing to do the end of September passing that budget. And it resulted in several layoffs. And then we continued that on until just recently. So now what we have is we have extra expenditures between $50,000 and $70,000, and I don't know where that money's going to come from to pay for the delay of putting out those putting out the layoff notices. That's one issue I have.
Well, you just.
Hold on,
$9,000
Commissioner Scott, she wasn't done.
available.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Commissioner Simmons.
And then also, for hourly personnel on the October 5th, their paychecks included the raise that was supposed to start October 1st. But the October 5th paycheck was from September 18th to September 29th. And so there's no work days in there in the new FY. It was all done in the old FY. And they received their pay raise, my understanding is, on the first check in October. And they haven't worked it any days in the new FY, when October 1st is when the pay raise starts, so I don't understand how that happened either.
Contract.
Are you done? Oh, no.
I read the contract.
No,
Commissioner Scott, enough.
all right, she can talk.
Enough.
anytime.
She's not done.
All right.
I am not done.
Commissioner Simmons. Where's
And the
the,
contract does not say to pay it says the pay raise starts, basically is what it says, implemented on October 1st. It does not say to pay for last FY and include the pay raise from that was done in last FY. So that pay raise shouldn't have started until October 1st. And their paycheck from October 5th was from September 18th to September 29th. Was not in the pay raise period. That's my question. How did that happen? Why?
Who are you directing the question towards?
Probably the administrator.
Go ahead.
So we did look into this, was brought to my attention. Actually, I came to the clerk's office and had mentioned it myself here a week or so ago. This county has had a past practice, going back as far as anyone here can remember, of issuing that increase on the first check in October. And Commissioner Simmons is technically correct on what the contracts say in terms of when these raises start. I don't know why it has been done that way for so long, but I guarantee you, if we change that practice, just out of the blue, change that practice without meeting with the unions, that we would be faced with a grievance, and in all likelihood, we'd lose the grievance. So what I've done, without getting into too many details, I've made notes of this so that when we start bargaining next year, we will bring this up and we'll make sure there's clarity and we will fix it. I did hear an explanation earlier today that the old Pontum system wasn't capable of distinguishing that demarcation between the old and the new fiscal year. I don't know if that's accurate or not. Seems to be knowing the limitations of Pontum, but regardless, this is at least from, if I'm got my math right, at least 15 or 20 years that this has been going on. Longer than that, I just heard.
Go ahead.
So it would be wrong of us to just simply have stopped it outright without bargaining that, or at least bringing that to the union's attention. Frankly, I was a bit surprised to see that myself, but understand the dynamic of this. So that's as far as I can explain it right now without diving into however many years ago this started and finding out who did it.
Commissioner Scott, did you have something?
Well, she made mention she's trying to find the money to pay for this. Well, we just got done talking about, we could have deferred $9,000 to ARPA, which we talked about in the commission before this one. That would free up $9,000 in the road patrol millage. You're talking about needing to spend money for these delayed layoffs or whatever you want to call it. That's how you do it. You can do it that way. You can defer the cost off ARPA, leaving that $9,000 in that budget for you to use.
You're missing the
Hold
point.
on.
I'm missing the point.
No, are you done, Commissioner Simmons?
No,
Or Commissioner Scott?
No, she interrupted me.
Go, all right, so go ahead until you're finished, and I just stopped, and I just stopped her, so you still have the floor.
That's how it works.
Go ahead.
But I brought it up and what year we're gonna use that, what year we're gonna apply that 9,000 to. The administrator said it'll be last year's budget. Now, if we pay for it with ARPA, that money will still remain in last year's budget, which would be a fund balance, or it may become fund balance, and we can use it for those efforts that you're talking about. That's using the budget.
I guess I have a question to that. The $9,000 is part of the road millage. How is that going to help the overall budget? That was for road, that is part of the road millage. Those monies can only be used for specific things. So I'm going to disagree with your
But you're
statement.
laying off deputies.
Correct, to
And
help the
delayed that.
overall. I wasn't, oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, you delayed that. What she's saying is there's added cost from delaying.
But not all of that added cost.
I'm just some.
Again, I'm gonna wait till you to finish so then I can say what I have to say. Not all of that cost, the delayed cost is coming out of the road patrol or the road millage.
Found
So
it.
go ahead, Commissioner Simmons, did you have anything you wanted to respond?
I don't think it should be ARPA money that covers it. You know, I mean, we've stuffed $2 million from ARPA money into the budget already over the last 4 years. And it just keeps stuffing the sock, I guess. I don't want to stuff the sock with ARPA money anymore.
I agree with your initial point as far as the raises. They've been done. That's how they've been done in the past. I think moving forward, there definitely needs to be some clarity. You have a point as far as the dates there, but I don't disagree as far as what's been done in the past. Changing that will be a fight that I don't know if we really want to fight.
I understand what you're saying. But I thought that's why we have a county administrator catch things like that before they happen. I mean, it's been going on now for 3 years. And now it's just being brought up. I guess I don't understand. That's the part I don't understand.
That's
You know, somebody went and said, you know, the pay we pay him, he will save us a lot more money than the pay we're even paying him. And I haven't seen it.
Comment.
Hang on, how you done?
Yep.
Commissioner Scott.
I think finger pointing isn't gonna solve our problems. Trying to finger point for somebody, October 1st last year fell on a different day. October 1st, the year before it fell on a different day of the week. It's the way it, roll your eyes as much as you want, but that's what it is.
Please be
And
stop.
you're
Be
talking
respectful.
about union contracts. You're talking, just like you made the big statement about laying off all those people. It wasn't the commissioner's fault that they wanted layoffs to happen to part-times. They brought that up in the contracts. They wanted part-times laid off first, or, you know, that wasn't commissioners. You know, these are union contracts. You gotta abide by certain things, and past practices is a major thing that you gotta be aware of, because it's gonna make you a grievance. You should know all this. You've been here.
I'm not gonna disagree with you. I think some things have been done that we have found in the last month that definitely should have been found. I'm not gonna disagree with you. I think moving forward. Again, I don't disagree with what you just said. The dates, they're pretty obvious, but a grievance, do we really want to go down that road with the fight with financial right now? Let's clarify it moving forward. I agree, some things that have been found that should have been found before they were found, but I think we need to move forward. I think with this discussion is we're not gaining anything out of it. We could go back and forth. Any further subjects on this, I think need to be put on the committee of the whole and can be discussed later. Item 11, Administrator/Controller report.
Got the report. It was loaded onto the iPads. I also sent everyone an email this afternoon. Supplement to the report, identifying a number of things that we're going to need to discuss related to collective bargaining, and at a future committee of the whole meeting, we'll do a closed session and get into those. But if you'll take the opportunity to read that when you have a chance, so you're primed and ready to dive in when we do have that closed session. Did want to report one other thing. Got a notice from the Attorney General's office that calculation on the distributor and Janssen settlements for the opioid agreement was amended by I've got my zeros right. It's 6 zeros and 2024. So that's 2024 billionths of a percent. That sounds minuscule, but for Ogemaw County, that means an additional $264,742 that'll be coming in from those settlements, and it'll be put into the queue from here in Janssen to make sure that that gets to us. Janssen is the one that was paying, I believe, 5 years, one lump sum. So there may be a check that comes soon from them. I don't recall what the distributor schedule was. So that's new. That's all. If there are any other questions?
Where's that? I seen that email that you sent later, like 3:30, related to the closed session topics. Where's that amount that you just, I'm sorry, was that in here?
No, that's not. I just went back and calculated that.
What was the total amount?
Dollar amounts $264,742.08.
Okay. Any questions, commissioners, for the administrator? Thank you. Item 12, elected official and department head reports. Clerk?
Yep, real quick, just want to let you guys know we have both of our positions filled, so I appreciate you guys allowing that so that we can move forward and do what we need to do to serve our community the best we can. Thank you.
Treasurer?
Your September cash summary report is on your iPads, and I again want to point out, I've highlighted for you the general fund negative cash for month end.
Randy? Come on up.
Okay.
Don't be shy.
Well, I want to apologize. I missed a couple days when I hurt my knee and I was off for a couple weeks with pneumonia. So I missed claims for the last claims and
This is a bill we don't want.
there's a couple of small items, but the postage advance for the winter tax bills.
Oh, my gosh.
It's $10,956. They have to receive it before they'll print the tax bills, and so I'm asking permission tonight if you can approve that for the postage.
$10,000 to mail out?
That's just the postage, just the total contract's about $14,500 to prepare the winter tax bills.
Oh, Lord.
And so we deal with KCI 3 times a year. The summer tax, winter tax, and the assessment change notices, and each time it's $15,000 to $20,000. The assessment change notices are more because Churchill Township and Logan Township prepare and mail their own tax. Well, I prepare the tax bills, they mail them out. But so KCI doesn't do those for the tax bills, but for the assessment change, we do all of them.
So that's without those two townships, this $10,956.
That doesn't include their postage, they pay their own postage. But if you look at the rate, it's 48 cents, first class stamps, 55 or 56 cents. It's cheaper because of the way they bulk sort and mail it. And it's far cheaper than us trying to produce the tax bills, print them and mail them all.
Any questions? What's the deadline on this?
They need to have it first 2 weeks of September or November. So
I don't mind if you don't send my tax bill right.
Right.
we have a statutory obligation to have them in the mail by December 1st.
Oh,
And so normally they like to receive it by November 10th because that's when I send their print files to them.
So does trade, I guess, what do you need from, what does he need from us? A resolution to, okay,
I make the motion
to what?
to pay this postage bill.
How much?
It's $10,956, and this is not unusual. This is the norm.
I guess it's not,
Usually it's in claims.
right, I guess it's not brought directly to us, so I don't know if I've actually seen this.
Postage is very expensive.
Jeez.
It's a significant
support
part of our budget.
We have a motion with support. Any further discussion?
You've seen it before.
And these costs are passed on to the local units for the tax bills.
Yeah.
We get reimbursed for it from them.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Charles Wiltie,
Yes.
Brenda Simmons.
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Jamie David,
Yes.
Roger Mayhew.
Yes. Thank you.
Peace.
Any good news?
Thank you. Good news, our land value studies are just about done. I've got the agricultural residential are done and just finalizing the commercial land values and the industrial.
How are they looking?
They're up.
Land values are up?
Land values are up, but if you looked at real estate, everything's up. State published the CPI today, it's 5.1%. So the inflation rate will be at 105 this year again, like it was last year. So the anticipated revenues from the tax increases will be probably 7% again next year compared to this year. So it's fairly significant. We've got since 1994, this is only second time in 2 years in a row they've been over 5%.
How much do you think land values are gonna be up, or you don't know yet?
To the assessors supply them when I'm looking at them, just to give an example, 10-acre rates are up about $400 an acre.
Oh,
Agricultural land is, last year, I think we used 2,250 an acre. This year we're using 2,700 an acre. for our studies, and we've had sales as high as 5,500 an acre this year, which will be used for next year's study for the agricultural land. I got sales from Aranac County to compare, and there's multiple agricultural properties selling 3,500, 4,000 an acre. So, and we have a significant agricultural class, so there will be some increases next year.
Commissioner Simmons.
Do you see any rollbacks coming this way in the next year or two?
Probably not, because when the CPI is higher than the cap, the middle-year inflation increase would have to be significantly higher. There's just no way to have that many uncappings to really do that.
Okay,
The Horton Township reappraisal is just about done. There's gonna be some fairly significant value brought in. They reassessed every property in the township. They're done. The assessment rolls in. I'm reviewing that right now. Working with the assessor and looking at land values, and so that will be finalized shortly. They're gonna submit the assessment change notices to their taxpayers early, so they have a couple months to prepare for board of review, because there was a lot of new construction that was picked up that wasn't on the assessment rolls.
Any other questions for Randy?
No, thanks.
Thanks. Thank you. Under Sheriff, do you have anything?
Thank you.
Ryan?
I want to apologize, I was here at the last meeting, I had 3 other places I needed to be,
Come on up, sir.
and lined up here. Apologize, I aggravated an injury. And it was not from celebrating last weekend's win of Michigan over Michigan State.
That wasn't a win. That was a serious butt kicking.
So yeah, thank you for the address fees. I'm gonna be taking care of that now. We do have a couple issues to try to make things easier. From the software, from the BSNA standpoint, which we're looking into, the addresses weren't set up properly. So unfortunately, equalization can't pull that information, so we're gonna try to get that resolved, so we can stop passing paper back and forth. ZBA meeting tomorrow night for a variance that we have. Planning Commission meeting will probably be pushed to November. From a permit standpoint, I'm at 204 permits for the year. We did 208 all of last year, so that total should go up with 2 months left, so. The scourging part is commercial side. We haven't seen much commercial in the county. As far as special use permits go, so. I don't know if that's because of the economy or inflation or just.
I seen in the claims, there was a lot of conversation between you and our legal team.
And I was made aware of that this afternoon. I didn't know that was part of, that was part of our retainers. So.
Yeah, that's what I asked for, maybe more specific breakdown of what is part of our retainer and what is not.
We do have, I have quite a bit of enforcement this year. And I've actually probably received at least 14 more in the last week. So there are some questions there, but if I would have been aware of it, I probably would have shrunk them down a little bit or done multiple at one time. So
Is that related to blight or?
A lot of it is just, some of the complaints we have out there as far as ordinance enforcement, things of that nature too. So some repeat ones that we have coming back, we've got 1 or 2 right now that have been spanning over some years. So
I think those are my townships, correct?
Your township, there is
2.
Yeah, there's one in Richland, or a few in Richland Township. So there's a few, but we're gonna have a lot more complaints this year than we have in years past. So but we'll deal with them as they come in. So
Thanks, Ryan.
thank you.
Thanks, Ryan.
Department head or elected officials on the phone. Jeff?
There we go. No, I do not have anything.
When's your veterans, that's coming up, correct? Can you remind everybody that's listening when that day is?
November 11th at 11 o'clock at Ford's Conference Center. I'll have a resolution to you. I'll get it to Tim next week for the cow meeting.
Okay.
And then for the veteran of the year. But I'll have that to you. I'll have that to Tim next week.
Okay.
And I've been out for the last 2 weeks due to COVID.
Are you
So
okay?
I just got back today. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. all
Good.
good again.
Glad to hear.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Julie? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have something for Jeff?
Will we be getting information on that date? The information on that as commissioners? Do you know?
Yes, it's part of the resolution. I send a letter with it.
All right, thank you, Jeff.
It's read. It'll be read before November 11th.
Before the date.
Yeah, if I hadn't had gotten the COVID, I would have had it to you for the last week's cow meeting, but unfortunately, I didn't get it done before I got sick, and so I'll have it to you for the 9th.
Okay. Thanks, Jeff. Julie?
Yes, good evening, Julie Darton, MSU Extension District Director. I first want to offer my appreciation to you all for supporting the Platt Book fundraiser through the resolution that was passed tonight. I was able to, with the help of my staff, pull together the information that was included in the board packet. Please reach out to me if you should have any questions about that. Recently got some inquiry from community members about mental health first aid training, which is something that we offer through MSU Extension. And I know that other community partners also offer this nationally recognized training. One opportunity that I can highlight is that we are offering a virtual version of mental health first aid, both for adults and for youth. That's available to the public and through our website. So if people, as we approach the winter season, it can be difficult sometimes to travel if weather conditions change quickly. This is a way for you to learn about how you can help someone who might be in a mental health crisis respond appropriately to an adult or a youth that you know who might be experiencing a mental health crisis. And the fee is relatively small, but they are both all-day sessions, and they both require a little bit of homework to be done in advance. So just one of the many educational offerings that we have through Michigan State University Extension. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other elected officials or department heads that I missed? Item 13, matters from the floor. Item 14, motions for adoption. Item 15, Commissioner's report. Commissioner Wiltie?
Attended the road commission meeting yesterday. 2 weeks ago when I was there, I mentioned in our last report regarding private drives and the issue up north of Rose City. They did grant that drive a 1-year extension. So that was good to see. They gave them a 1 year. It made a lot of our residents up there north of Rose City happy. So hopefully they can figure out some of the issues and move forward in the future, whether it be with the road commission or finding a private contractor. EMS, we had our board meeting this afternoon. Big issues we've been talking about, and we have been for months. Continuing the conversation is regarding pension and trying to get away from the full pension program out there. I'm a big supporter of us having to move in a different direction in order to create sustainability for the EMS for Ogemaw County. Obviously, that type of deal is going to take a while to see, but I really feel it's something that we need to do immediately. My housing partnership, we're still waiting from the state. Fingers crossed, waiting to hear how much money we're going to get from that. I know talking with some people here in the area, we do have some different developments and some developers that are interested in some things. So there'd be good timing on that, especially if this funding is going to become available. And I'm looking forward to finding out that information. And once I do, I'll make sure to share it with you guys. EDC workshops, we completed 2 of those earlier in the month. Last one was actually at the last meeting where I gave a report. They went really well. It was good to see some of our local business owners coming out and trying to find ways to be more productive for their business. Transit, we had a transit meeting last week. That transit committee got some real strong people on it. We're really got some good things going there. Tim was at our meeting. One of our big items is we started the real serious talks for the future progression of our transit director, and if there ever is going to be with time a change there, that we start to have some things in place. So there is going to be continued talks of possibility of eventually hiring an assistant director there. We do have the cold storage building, basically anytime is gonna start going vertical. We don't have an exact date yet there. But the ground is prepped and everything's ready to go. Got some other work done around there, which has been a really good thing because maintenance wise, we've needed that. So, the other big item with transit is, we're talking about getting away from a typical fare right now. It's all depends upon the mileage. So you could have $1.35 fare, say if you're going from outside of West Branch into Walmart. And typically what we want to get to is where you have it on our map, you have a certain area, that certain area is a set price. Make it a lot easier on the dispatcher, make it easier on the drivers, make it easier on our customers. So that's a big item that we're looking into right now. And then tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. after our budget meeting, I have a sting meeting at the Michigan State Police Post. That's tomorrow. I'm done.
Commissioner Scott?
Attended the Ogemaw Township meeting. They had representatives of the insurance company in there with these coverages. They talked about their ARPA funds. They have $68,000 left. They talked about the water system, had some pressure reducing valves that were stuck open that need to repair. They talked about the voting and using the clerk's office.
9 days early voting.
Yes, and happy to participate in that. Airport, I'd like to thank Brett for taking time out. She wasn't going to be able to attend, but she did, so that we can make a quorum. And we made 8% fuel profit after discounts for the last year. We've cleared now some more land. We've done just about 70 acres in 25 in 2023 and 70 altogether. That'll all be in crop. Had brush grinding, rented a machine, had our part-time man do the brush grinding, got about 15 acres done. So we've when we had the trees taken out a couple of years ago, we received about $75,000 in revenue, and we've spent about $73,000 in clearing costs to make farmland. So we've not had to take general fund money to make that happen. And then our part-time guy is now at $21.50, and he is already lined up as the clerk's office will do the fiduciary of paying him and benefits, what benefits are entitled to him, and as the clerk's office does for the director. And of course, then the airport's budget pays back the county. So that's what I got.
Commissioner Simmons?
Well, I don't have too much. Most of my meetings, I did not make the Board of Health meeting on Monday. We do have a thing here from our prosecuting attorney down the shelves, but the verbiage is a little off. So I will give this back to her tomorrow morning. Because I'm sure she wants Board of Canvassers, not Board of Commissioners. Change, and she's got 3 people: Dale Sheltron, Richard Bott, and John Williams. But it says November 1st vacancy of the County Board of Commissioners instead of County Board of Canvassers. So I will give this back to her to reword it.
Anything else? You have your first budget committee meeting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
9 a.m. and we'll I'll talk to Tom in the morning to put that on, and we'll just move out in the Minister's Chambers where it already is, where you can Zoom.
Yeah, well, it's portable, so it can be moved to the other room too, whatever works.
Well, I think he'd rather not have it moved because it's card on the courts and stuff, so we just leave it in place. Back with, with 10 of us. Just sit around that big table, make a big table there, and just do that.
Commissioner Mayhew?
I went to the Board of Health and they're redoing the Harrison, I believe it is, Harrisville building. And it's gonna be about 514,000. They have the money, but she told me in 3 years that they're gonna come and get some money from the counties because we broke. I went to Rose City. They're working on their splash pad deal, and I guess that's got to be done in March.
Oh.
That ought to be March. Or they in trouble will lose their grant.
Oh,
So that's all gotta happen. I went to Clacking and they are talking that they're gonna come to the courthouse for the voting. But not everybody's happy. They're worried about losing it, losing their stuff that the townships do to the county. They just throw some thought about that, but
concerns.
other than that, pretty mild.
Can I clarify something in regards to that real quick?
I don't care.
Well, just so you can pass it along to them. It's just another option. They can still vote. The township still has control over everything. It's just, they still have control over the processes. We are just offering another option to save all of the township's money.
Money, time, personnel. 'Cause
Yes.
There's no way they can, my township specifically, get somebody to cover those 9 days. They have a hard enough time for that one
Right.
single day.
Right.
They really do.
So we're not taking it over completely. We're just offering another option to help the townships save money.
Anything else?
Nope, that's pretty much it.
I don't think I did claims this week. I have a Michigan Works tomorrow.
Yes.
Matt, I see you. Are you still on the phone? Are you available at all tomorrow for a phone conversation? Okay. Afternoon, morning?
Oh, either one is fine.
Okay. I think that's, I haven't been anywheres. I don't believe my township's primarily the first week of the month. So, I am not gonna be here next week. For committee of the whole, I leave Monday for, out west for a couple days. So I will be hunting. So I will not be here next week.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I kind of wanted to ask you earlier when we were talking about the cost, because I also saw that on the claims and I talked to Tim about that.
Cost of what?
That additional cost that we had from the attorneys.
Mhm.
Now, our retainer is $4,000 a month, right?
Mhm.
And anything above a certain point of volume of their work, then we get charged, or how is that
So
additional?
that additional charge that you saw this time was actually for court cases and court actions, which are not part of the retainer. So we had one that dealt with the treasurer and a settlement on a property. Remember all the details of that. And the other group was the zoning enforcement, which required the attorney to file court actions. I don't know if they actually have hearings on them or not, but those are considered over and above typical retainer item. Same would be true if we ended up having to go to arbitration on any grievances or anything like that. They tend to take up a lot more intense work time, the attorneys, and that's why they segregate those from the normal day-to-day type things.
Tim, do you want me to weigh in on that?
Go ahead, Matt.
They are better qualified, so.
So I pulled up our fee agreement just because I wanted to be certain that I was being accurate here in what I described. So we really cover everything except for what I'll call contested cases. So we charge a discounted hourly rate outside of the retainer for only matters that include grievance arbitrations, a Merck fact finding, Act 312 arbitration, court litigation, or administrative hearings. And then there's an example in the fee agreement for unemployment, civil rights, et cetera. When we have a relationship like yours with the county, the vast majority of our work is covered under the retainer. The reason that we don't have litigation included is because it's so uncertain. And Sometimes we just can't anticipate what volume would be. Otherwise, we'd be probably doing 2 to 3 times the retainer quotes if we didn't have a carve out for litigation, because some years you may have, some serious litigation, and we always do our best to make sure that we're monitoring that carefully. And if you have any questions at all about litigation, about our billing, please feel free to use me as your point of contact on any bills for legal services.
Yeah, because I wanted to see, I mean, we've been monitoring things obviously fairly closely in the last couple of months, asking like what our rates say over the last, I think we've had you for what now? You're for 3 years, Matt?
Nope, we started with you in 2022. So our
geez.
contract for legal services was January 1 of 2022.
Oh, I'm mistaken then. I thought it was longer than that. Okay. Anything else for Matt?
No.
Thank you, sir. General public, oh, did you have something else?
No, I just said thank you back. Thank you.
General public comment? Any public comment on the phone? Motion to adjourn. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have something?
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
I can.
I'm pushing buttons and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Can you give us your name?
Yeah, it's Leanne Ross from District Court.
Oh, hi, Leanne.
Good afternoon or evening, I should say, everybody.
You know the rules?
I don't.
You got 3 minutes.
All right, I won't need that long.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to make a comment about the statement that was made about us getting our raises prior to October 1st in the past. Only because since I've worked here, I've never received it prior to October 1st. We've always had to wait till our second pay in October to find out exactly what our paychecks would be from that point forward. So I'm not sure, as far as for our office and myself, I can only speak for, but I just wanted to say that that's never been in something for us.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good night, everybody.
You too. Any other public comment? Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Yeah.
Support? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
We are adjourned. What's that? Did I sign that?
Contract in your packet, you.
No.
The night permitting.
No.
It wasn't.